Reconciling your accounts will make sure that you have all of your transactions accounted for each month. But when you have transactions that have not cleared the bank, you need to make sure that you're taking care of these as well so that you don't have incorrect data in your financial statements. It's important to clean these items up in a timely manner so that you're not over or understating your net income for a specific period of time. And taking the time to clean these items up prior to the end of the year will help you prepare for your upcoming tax return. In today's podcast episode, I cover what an uncleared transaction is, as well as how to decide what you need to do to clean it up so that your financials are correct, especially if you find an uncleared transaction from a prior period that has already been closed or your tax return has already been filed. Some of these situations can get tricky, but it doesn't matter if you're a self-employed individual, a solopreneur, entrepreneur, mompreneur, freelancer, business owner, bookkeeper, or virtual assistant. It's important to make sure that you're following these processes to ensure that your financial statements correctly reflect your income. You're listening to the Mastering Your Small Business Finances podcast, where we get straight to the point on topics that ultimately affect your bottom line. That's right, as an entrepreneur with a small business, money management, growth, marketing, they all affect your bottom line. I'm your host, Chris Ponick. I'm a certified public accountant, and I've been helping small business owners like you navigate and easily understand these complicated topics for over 25 years. I'm a wife, a mom, a grandmother, and a small business owner myself, so I know your time is valuable. In my free time, I make the best sugar cookies and have mastered an amazing chocolate chip cookie recipe. And that's not just my opinion. You're in the right place. I promise your time will be well spent here. Each week, you'll gain confidence and clarity while making a successful impact on your business and grow your bottom line. Get comfy, grab a cookie, and let's get straight to the point with this week's episode. Hey there! If you're a business owner who wants to take your business to the next level, you're building your business and you're serious about growing your business to your first 6 figures, trending towards multiple 6 figures, or even 7 figures, I want to invite you to join me in a free consultation call. I've created a business strategy and growth program that is the program that you need that helps you take your business to the next level. It sets the foundation for you to build, grow, and scale your dream business for the long term. It's for you if you are a business owner who desires to build a successful business and you want to do it in the most accelerated, streamlined, and sustainable way, and in a way that aligns with your life and the impact that you want to make with your business. I'm really proud of the work that my clients and I do in this program and the transformation that happens for my clients through this one-on-one consulting process so that they can fully reach their dreams, set the foundation for their business, and create belief and actions to achieve what is possible by taking control and understanding their business, which leads to a balanced and more fulfilled life. There are limited spots available because of the very high level of support included in this program, and because I'm also very serious about helping my clients get results. I'm helping clients get their businesses started, be more profitable, set strategies to move their business forward, and take control of their business while allowing them the balance and ability to enjoy their personal life. Your business finances are impacted by much more than just your bookkeeping and financial knowledge. You need a solid business foundation. During your consultation session, we'll work together to go over where you currently are in your business and where you'd like to see yourself and your business in the future. If this sounds like you, I want you to sign up for one of my free consultation sessions. And if you're at a place where you know that you're ready for this level of business strategy, coaching, mentorship, and support with high-level business discussions that will give you the exact next steps and the ability to reach your goals and achievements, let's get on a call so that we can talk about and see what's possible for you and your business this year. You can go to financialadventure.com/contact-us to schedule your call today. I'll post the link in the show notes for you as well. Welcome back. Whenever you find an uncleared transaction in your books, you need to follow through with it to see how you should handle it properly so that your income is reflected correctly. You may find uncleared transactions if you're doing your bookkeeping manually or when utilizing a computerized software system such as QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online. In this episode, I'll be referring to cleaning up your uncleared transactions when using QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online, since they're such widely used programs. But regardless of which system you're using for your bookkeeping, you can follow these same processes. And if you're interested in purchasing QuickBooks Online, you can go to financialadventure.com/QuickBooks to receive 30% off your first 6 months. Let's start with what a cleared transaction is. If you have a cleared transaction, you'll have a transaction that's listed in your books, and the bank will show the transaction as clearing as well. An uncleared transaction is when there's a transaction that's been recorded in your bookkeeping system that has never cleared the bank. This means that either the bank never cashed a check or a deposit may have never been recorded on your bank statement. When this happens, you need to do a little bit of research to find out why the transaction hasn't cleared the bank so that you know exactly what you need to do with it to clear it up on your books. Any uncleared transactions are also recorded in your book balance, but your bank will not show this amount. For example, if you wrote a check out for $1,000 to one of your vendors, but the check still shows that it's uncleared, it would mean that the vendor probably never cashed the check, and the bank never deducted the money from your bank account. This will cause you to have a different balance in your book balance than the bank shows for your bank balance. These uncleared transactions can show up in your bank checking and savings accounts, your credit card accounts, loans, or other accounts that you might have for your business. Not only is it important to reconcile your balances each month to ensure that you have all of your transactions accounted for, but you also want to make sure that you're looking into any uncleared transactions as soon as possible so that your financial statements are accurate. Uncleared checks could be overstating your expenses, and any uncleared deposits may be overstating your revenues or your sales. So how do you know if you have any uncleared transactions that you need to clean up? One of the best ways is to look at what has not cleared when you're doing your bank reconciliation. If you're utilizing QuickBooks Desktop or QuickBooks Online, you're probably familiar with their bank reconciliation feature. When you go to reconcile your account, you simply check off each item that has cleared your bank statement, whether it was a check or withdrawal or a deposit to your account. When you have successfully checked off each item that has cleared your bank, the difference will be 0, which means that you've successfully reconciled your account. But before you click on the Reconcile Now button, take a few minutes to review the unchecked transactions. These are all the transactions that have not cleared yet and the items that could be causing you to have an incorrect balance or impact your balance sheet or your income statement reports. If you're seeing transactions that are listed with dates that are after the statement cutoff date, that only makes sense that they would not have cleared yet, since they would clear after the statement date. But you do want to dig deeper into any uncleared transaction that has a date prior to the statement cutoff date. You might want to create a process that requires you to look into any transaction that's at least 30 days older than the statement date to give your transaction some time to clear. When you do this, it's easy to look over all the items that have not cleared. The next step is to find out why your uncleared transactions haven't cleared yet. Here's where you'll need to do a little bit of investigating. Let's take, for example, that $1,000 check we talked about earlier that you wrote out to one of your vendors. You may want to double check that you didn't duplicate the check first. If you don't believe the check has been duplicated or entered twice into your bookkeeping system, you could contact the vendor to see if they still show that amount is owed by you. Maybe the check got lost in the mail and you need to reissue it to the vendor. If it is indeed a duplicate entry, you'd need to void the transaction. You would need to do this same investigation with any deposits that you might show as uncleared as well. Once you know what's happening with your uncleared transactions, it's time to clean them up. One important thing to consider when you're cleaning up transactions is to pay attention to the date the original transaction was recorded. If you're preparing financial statements and closing the date on them each year so that you can prepare your tax return, or if you set a closing date each month, you want to make sure that you don't change any of your information for those prior periods unless you check with your tax preparer or accountant to see if you need to amend your tax return with these changes. If you're cleaning up a transaction from a prior period or a closed period, and your tax preparer or accountant advises you to make the changes in the current year, you would more than likely need to create a journal entry to reflect these changes in the current period or month. To create a journal entry, you'll need to go to the Company tab and select Create a Journal Entry. From here, you'll be able to create the journal entry to clear your uncleared transaction. You'll enter the account that you're clearing the transaction for as either a debit or a credit, and depending on your situation, you'll offset this amount by the original expense or account that was used in the original transaction. If you're making changes to a current period, you could easily either void or delete the transaction if it was a duplicate or error. If you need to reissue a check, you could go back to the original check and simply check the To Be Printed box and print a new check. Make sure that when you're making any adjustments like this that you make a note of the old check or the transaction for your records. Once you've taken care of the uncleared transactions, you should be able to check them off on your bank reconciliation. If you created a journal entry to clean up the uncleared transaction, you'll see the original transaction in the bank reconciliation screen, as well as the journal entry that you created on the opposite side. You'll be able to check off each item and you will again be in balance and then can reconcile your account. You know that I highly recommend that you reconcile your accounts on at least a monthly basis. When you do this, you can easily keep an eye on items that are not clearing your bank statement. By monitoring these transactions each month, you'll ensure that your financial statements are not only timely, but they'll be accurate as well. I find uncleared transactions to be one of the major issues that I help my clients with. There's times when we're cleaning up multiple transactions that are uncleared from not only the last year, but sometimes these transactions can go back 5 to 10 years. If you can stay on top of your uncleared transactions and don't let them get out of control, you'll be able to catch these items sooner, you'll be able to have a better recollection of what's happening with the transaction, and you'll have more confidence in your book balances. When you're current with your bookkeeping, it just makes everything easier. Schedule time every day, week, or month to do your bookkeeping, and you'll start seeing positive results by not only knowing how your business is doing, but you'll start to feel that you're able to accomplish your bookkeeping tasks confidently as well. If you feel like you're struggling in this area, join us for my upcoming bookkeeping bootcamp, where you can get your bookkeeping started or catch up on your bookkeeping for the year so that you're ready for the upcoming tax season. When your bookkeeping is up to date, think about how much more satisfying your business will be, as well as the peace of mind that you'll have knowing that everything is accurate and you can make sound business decisions from this data. Having your bookkeeping up to date in this last part of the year will also help you make good tax decisions and have strategies in place so that you can save money on your taxes. You'll know exactly how you are sitting for taxable income this year compared to last year at this time, and if it would be beneficial for you to include additional expenses that you've been thinking about making this year. Being strategic about your expenses could save you from paying additional taxes. If your bookkeeping isn't up to date, you won't have this availability to strategize and make good decisions before the end of the year. To help ensure your bookkeeping is up to date and accurate before the end of this year, I'm holding a bookkeeping bootcamp workshop for you to attend. I know it can be easy to put your bookkeeping off, and I hope the solutions that I mentioned in this podcast help you to develop an easy bookkeeping system that you can maintain. But if you feel you need additional help, I'm here for you. As a CPA, business strategist, and coach, I help business owners just like you to ensure that you have up-to-date and accurate financial statements. I take the uncertainty and stress out of doing your own bookkeeping. In this workshop, you'll have a chance to either get started with your bookkeeping, catch up on your bookkeeping, or simply make sure that you have your bookkeeping system set up properly so that you can make smart business decisions during these last few months of the year. You'll also have a better understanding of which reports that you should be reviewing and what each report means for your business. This workshop is excellent for business owners and solopreneurs who are doing their own bookkeeping, as well as bookkeepers who want to understand financial statements better and streamline their procedures in their bookkeeping business. I offer workshops like this throughout the year, and you can go to financialadventure.com/workshop to sign up for this current Bookkeeping Bootcamp workshop today. And don't worry, if you're unable to attend the live Bookkeeping Bootcamp in October, once you're registered for the event, I'll be sending out a link for the replay so you can watch it at your convenience. I'll post links to this and other valuable resources for business owners and bookkeepers where you're listening to this podcast and in the show notes. And you know I'm going to ask, what's at least one thing you'll take away from this episode that will help your business succeed and grow your bottom line? If you need some accountability, join our private Facebook community and post your action item. We'd love to support you. Thanks for taking the time to tune into this episode of Mastering Your Small Business Finances. If you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed creating it for you, I'd love for you to give it a 5-star rating and subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. Visit financialadventure.com for the show notes, links from this episode, and while you're there, leave a comment if you have a topic you're interested in learning more about that affects your bottom line. If you're looking for a community where you can ask questions and get feedback about your small business, join my private Facebook group. You can find the links to this group and more on financialadventure.com. And remember, any financial information shared on this podcast is not to be considered professional, financial, or tax advice and should not be solely relied upon. Please consult your CPA or tax advisor for an opinion on your specific circumstances. I'm looking forward to having you tune in next time. Until then, dream big, follow your heart, and love what you do.